Hello and welcome back to another FPL video. Today we're taking a look at our game week 22 team selection. I'm recording this straight after the Man United game has finished after beating Southampton 3-1. So we are fresh off the bat of game week 21 with a nice 76 pointer, which is ideal. I managed to climb a couple 100,000 places. I think it was about 200,000. I want to say I was 1.3 million before game week 21, which was nice. And as you can see, the Isak captain went absolutely fantastically. I was a little bit worried after Palmer picked up that 10-pointer. Obviously thrilled with Salah only picking up 2 points because he's obviously a very, very popular captain for the entire game these days. So that was great, and was really just needing Isak to do well, basically beat Palmer with the 10-pointer, and he absolutely smashed it out the window with a 16-pointer and a 32 points for our captaincy, which was great. All round, the Newcastle guys done fantastically. Gordon with a 9-pointer, and Hall obviously picked up a clean sheet, which was a nice 6-pointer as well. He was our new transfer for this week. He was one of the 2 transfers we did make, which was nice. Again, between him and Munoz, I think they both picked up 6 points, so there's no real difference with those guys. We also brought in Bruno Fernandes last week. He only got a 4-pointer, which wasn't great. He picked up 2 bonus points, which was ideal, especially when, players aren't getting returns and stuff. It is always good to have someone who is going to be right up there with the bonus points every single game, even if they aren't going to get attack and returns. So the 4 points is better than 2. Happy enough with that. Unfortunately, I did bring out Odegaard for him, who picked up an assist, and I think he got all 3 bonus points as well, which would have been like an 8-pointer or something like that. So lost some points on that, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. There's definitely worse things that could have happened. Of course, we benched Wood as well this week. I'm not really too disappointed in that. I don't think there was any real way where Wood was going to be playing against Liverpool. I was really between Wood and Rodgers this week. Ended up opting for Rodgers. Only missed out on 3 points on that one. Rodgers had the better fixture against Everton than Chris Wood did as well. So nothing really too bad. Rest of the team kind of a little bit average. Trent wasn't too great again. Gabriel the same. Only a 3-pointer from Flecken, and then obviously Mo Salah the big one with the blank. Now for this week we do have the best fixtures available, which is obviously the green fixtures for game week 22 according to the fixture difficulty rating on the FPL website. And this week we have Chelsea, Fulham, Man City, Forest and Crystal Palace. So in terms of looking to bring players in, honestly, looking at the upcoming fixtures for all of these teams, excluding Crystal Palace, it's not really looking too great. For me, it is really looking like an easy roll in the transfer this week. Chelsea, after this week, have Man City. They've got West Ham. It's actually not that bad on paper. Man City away is technically a difficult fixture, but we know how bad they have been recently. West Ham at home is a decent one. For Fulham, this is coming to the run of their the end of the run of their good fixtures after Leicester away. So potentially maybe moving on the likes of Raul Jimenez and Castagne next week. We'll see how the budget's looking for that, because they've got a pretty difficult run with United, Newcastle, Forest and Palace. Maybe keep them for the United game, to be honest. I don't think it's a horrible one. It's a home fixture as well. Someone like Jimenez could easily get a goal in that, so I'm not really too worried about that, but it is the end of the green fixtures for Fulham. For Man City, of course, they have a horrible run up until about game week 29. A nice fixture this week against Ipswich, but after that, absolutely horrendous. Don't want to go anywhere near Man City with Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle and Liverpool. Literally the top 4, apart from Forest, who aren't there. So 4 of the top 5 in the league in the next couple. Not going to go anywhere near Man City. Forest, of course, Southampton at home. We've got Chris Wood at the minute already. I would really like to have Aina in my team because the Forest fixtures aren't bad over the next few. Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham. But Aina's getting a little bit expensive to the point where I'd probably just go for like a Milenkovic instead. I think Aina's up to 5.3 million now, which is almost the same price as your premium defenders. The likes of Pedro Porro is like that kind of price, who was labelled as like a semi-premium at the start of the season. So Aina's getting right up there. He's been from he's went from 4.5 to 5.3, and really in hindsight, looking back to, I think it was like game week 12 when I actually brought in Alex Moreno, there was like a 0.2 I think it was actually a 0.1 difference between Aina and Moreno, and I opted to go for Moreno. Now I'm still sitting on Moreno, who's on 4.3 million, and I could have really made an extra million and got a ton more points had I went for Aina. So in hindsight, I've probably lost out on a ton of rank going for Moreno, going for the punt over Aina, but that's just one of those decisions that goes against you throughout the whole season. And then of course Crystal Palace, a nice run of fixtures. Still would like Palace players in, it's just not really available for me at the current moment. I can switch over to this week's team, and again, looking at the squads, there's not really anyone that I would be looking to take out other than obviously Alex Moreno, but I've only got 0.2 million in the bank. I would love to get Munoz in as another backup defender, but again, the budget isn't allowing me for anyone really apart from Moreno. So yeah, not ideal, but maybe we'll save some budget. I've got 2 transfers to make in game week 23. Could potentially look to make some moves there to get some Palace players in. But obviously we were speaking about the double game week 24 last week. We talked about Liverpool and Everton players. I think the more I look at it, the more I'm thinking I'm just going to stick with Salah and Trent. I don't think I really have any interest in any Everton players whatsoever. When it comes to Liverpool, Diaz is still a minute's risk, and out of all my 5 midfielders, I don't really think I want to replace anyone for Diaz, so I think I'm just going to stick with the 2. Still debating the Arne Slot assistant manager, but still working on the graphics and everything for the assistant manager video, and the more I look at it and more look into the data, the more I don't think Arne Slot is going to be worth it in game week 24, so I don't think I'm going to go into that with the assistant manager chip, and I'll probably just stick with the 2 Liverpool players in Salah and Trent. Now I do have a bit of a bench headache this week. I was looking at Castagne. He's obviously got a nice fixture against Leicester away from home. Again, another 50-50 that probably hasn't really worked out considering how good Robinson's been with the extra assists. Obviously Castagne's still picking up the clean sheet points, but Robinson, despite not keeping a clean sheet during the week there, still picked up 2 assists, get bonus points as well. So Robinson definitely the pick. We went a little bit cheaper with Castagne, and I probably wouldn't have the team that I do right now had I went for Robinson. So again, another one that I'm not really too bothered about. Would like to have Castagne in the team. Obviously a really nice fixture against Leicester. The option that I was looking at benching would have been Gabriel probably against Aston Villa. I was taking a look into some of the stats between them and came across the corners conceded, which obviously, when Arsenal are playing, when Gabriel's playing, you're hoping that he's going to be scoring from corners. So I wanted to take a look and see who's conceding the most corners, obviously up against Aston Villa. And Aston Villa are actually the 4th best team for corners conceded. They've only got 3.8 average per game, which is only worse than Chelsea, Arsenal and Man City. So they're one of the better teams for not conceding corners. Only 3 or 4 per game on average. So really not as many opportunities for Gabriel to get a goal. Personally, I didn't think it would have been that easy for Gabriel and Arsenal in general to keep a clean sheet. But then I took a look at 11ify, and they've actually got Arsenal as the highest for a clean sheet odds this week. They've got 47% chance of a clean sheet against Aston Villa. So I'm going to be keeping Gabriel in there. It was pretty obvious. And Castagne just hasn't been as attacking as I thought he was going to be. I think in the 5 games he started, he's got like a 0.06 expected goals, which is absolutely horrendous. His expected assists, I think 0.25, which isn't too bad, but again, even Gabriel's outscored that in the last 5 matches. So Castagne's going to be sitting there. I think at this point for my team, I've got 2 perma bench players in Castagne and Moreno. Rodgers is going to be the guy coming in and out. So again, yeah, trying to just build up some transfers. At least I'll have the option in game week 24 if I want to bring in some Liverpool or Everton players if I can keep building up these transfers. But that's how the team's looking for this week. I'm really excited with the front line. Bournemouth at home, Southampton at home and Leicester away for my front 3. Everything else is looking pretty decent. Cole Palmer captaincy, of course. If you want to know more about that, make sure to check out the captaincy video for this week. But that is going to round off this week's team selection. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like on it as well. Make sure to subscribe as well if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next one.